Apple CEO Tim Cook had a prime seat for President Trump's inauguration. And that's not a big surprise, since Cook reportedly donated $1 million to the event. Cook was next to other wealthy tech company leaders, all placed right behind Trump. And yes, these guys and their companies made large donations to the inauguration event. It makes me wonder what goes through the mind of Tim Cook, the leader of the richest company in America, as he is placed in the middle of the action at the Capitol Rotunda, getting a better seat than Trump's cabinet members and other government officials. Yes, this is our weekly Apple Tech Report, but we're getting political today because Apple is political. Tech companies have gotten political, and it's all becoming a bit of a spectacle now. And these performances will shape our future experiences as consumers. So it's only fitting for this episode, we go over the big questions Tim Cook will need to figure out in the Trump presidency. I'm Bridget Carey, and this is One More Thing. First off, it's important to note the fundraising for Trump's return to the White House was unprecedentedly large this time. According to ABC News, he brought in a record-breaking $250 million for his inauguration. And there were many other major American companies that also donated, but it was the tech titans that were in Trump's VIP section because they are in control of how we absorb information. That's what technology is now. That's where the power lies today. Power is in the messaging that comes to our devices. You think the best tech company is the one who has the best pixels in a VR headset? No. It's about which company has a lock on our eyes. The Wall Street Journal wrote a feature on how Tim Cook cracked the code on working with Trump by developing a personal relationship with him over years of meetings. Right before his inauguration week, Trump told a crowd that he spoke with Tim Cook and that Apple is going to make a massive investment in the United States. Cook later posted on X a congratulatory message to Trump saying, quote, "We look forward to working with the administration to drive continued innovation and jobs for future growth across our great nation." Now, Apple already invests in jobs in America, so this doesn't seem like a notable change just because of a new administration. Back in 2021, Apple committed to a $430 billion investment in the U.S., and that stretches into 2026 for things like silicon development and 5G innovation and building new campuses. But Cook undoubtedly has a few other things on his mind when it comes to working with Trump, besides just investing in American jobs. Right now, Cook is leading Apple through an antitrust lawsuit with the U.S. Department of Justice, which claims Apple has created a monopoly with the iPhone and unfairly prevents other companies from creating apps and services to compete. Apple has been fighting to have the case dismissed. Bloomberg reports that the district court judge assigned to the case may decide this month if it's going to proceed to a trial in its current form. But will Donald Trump's DOJ fight the case the same as the DOJ team that was under President Joe Biden? There's also the question of tariffs on Chinese goods. Apple relies on components that are made in China. Trump has said he wants to introduce tariffs on imports from China. Tim Cook has previously persuaded Trump in his last term to make exemptions for Apple, so Apple did not have to pay tariffs on Chinese imports for the Mac Pro. That's according to Bloomberg. Could there be another deal made to prevent the cost of Apple products going up? Apple has been at work to move some of its production out of China to other countries, including India. Not every question for Cook is going to be a big issue. For example, how much pressure will Apple face to change how it labels the Gulf of Mexico on the Maps app? One of Trump's first executive orders was to rename the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America on federal maps. And he also called for Alaska's 20,000-foot mountain Denali to be renamed back to Mount McKinley, which is what it was named before President Obama changed it in 2015. If you go on Apple Maps right now, it shows both Mount Denali and Mount McKinley, depending on what you type in the search bar. For now, the Gulf of Mexico is still Mexico, but will our apps change to appease Trump? More serious than a map update, I would say Cook is probably looking very closely at how the Trump administration is handling the TikTok ban. By that I mean how Trump talks about his power in this deal. Trump signed an executive order to put a temporary freeze on the ban. But on his first day in office, Trump talked about how the United States should own half of the app. When asked by reporters, Trump said, quote, "TikTok is worthless if I don't approve it." And then he added, quote, "If I do the deal, it's worth $1 trillion. And then Trump said, "If I do the deal for the United States, then I think we should get half. I think the U.S. should be entitled to get half of TikTok." It really shows you how Trump is making big statements about making whatever deal he wants because he holds all the cards. So what other issues can Trump speak like this on, as if he's the all-powerful one to get what he wants? Right now, Apple is the richest kid in the classroom, and Trump is asking for lunch money. This attitude he has toward TikTok must be something the other CEOs are watching closely. Remember when the FBI was demanding Apple decrypt iPhones, and Apple, under Tim Cook, pushed back from making a backdoor because it would undermine the security of its products? What's to stop encryption from becoming an issue again if Trump's administration wants information from an iPhone from an enemy? I'm sure there could be more courtroom drama over the next 4 years, but I don't think Cook wants that to be what takes up his final years at the helm of Apple before he retires, whenever that might be. In an interview with Wired last month, Cook said he would do the job until, quote, "the voice in my head says it's time." But will that time come now or until Trump's time is up? Let us know what you think of Tim Cook and his interactions with President Trump, and I'll catch you next week with one more thing to chat about in the world of Apple.